Today, we are going to read a poem that was written in the Indian context. The title of the poem is The Bus, written by Arun Kolktar. Here is the image of the poet. He was born on 1st November 1932 and passed away on 25th September 2004. He wrote in both languages, in Marathi and English, with perfect ease. During his lifetime, he has influenced many Marathi poets through his works. He received many awards, such as Sahitya Academy Award in 2005 and Commonwealth Writers' Prize in 1977. Now, here is the poem The Bus. Once the poet happened to visit the Jajuri, a holy place near Pune, and the poet traveled to that place in the state transport bus. And the poet described the condition of the bus. See in what manner the poem begins. The tarpaulin flaps are buttoned down on the windows of the state transport bus all the way up to Jajuri. As the poet was traveling to the state transport bus, the poet described the condition of the bus. Instead of the glasses, there were tarpaulin curtains on the windows of the bus, and they were properly buttoned there and throughout the journey to the Jajuri. A cold wind keeps sweeping and slapping a corner of tarpaulin at your elbow. The poet experienced the cold wind at the time of the night. It was not properly closed, that's why the cold wind was coming. It was weeping and sleeping at the cheek of the poet, and the poet described the condition of the bus and the time of the night and the cold wind. And the cold wind was biting. And he looked down to the roaring road, and the condition of the road was not proper. That's why it appeared that the road was roaring, means there was so much noise as the bus was going to the Jajuri on the road. You search for the signs of the daybreak in white little light spills out of the bus. The poet was waiting for the coming of the daybreak, for the coming of the sun. And as the light entered the bus, what the poet saw? Your own divided face in the pair of glasses on an old man's nose. The poet happens to see an old man who was wearing the glasses, and the poet saw his own image in the two pairs of glasses of the old man. And the poet says, in all countryside, you get to see, when you travel in such a bus, you see such type of persons who are traveling to that holy place, Jajuri. Next, the poet says, you seems to move continually forward towards a destination just beyond the caste mark beyond his eyebrows. And the bus was going on continuous to the journey to Jajuri, to our destination. Destination was Jajuri. And the poet happens to see that the old man was putting in a caste mark between his eyebrows. Means it appears that he was a Brahman. Outside, the sun was rising quietly. As the morning came, the sun was rising silently and quietly. It aims to the an eyelet in the tarpaulin. The rays of the sun were coming through the whole eyelet through the tarpaulin and shoots at the old man's glasses. The reflection of that, the sun's rays was reflecting on the old man's glasses. A shower of sunbeams come to rest gently against the driver's right temple. The poet happened to saw as the bus was moving, the sunbeams was also moving, and the light of the sun, the rays of the sun were striking against the right temple of the driver. The bus seems to change direction, and the bus was trying to take the change. It was trying to move to the direction, to the other direction. At the end of the bumpy ride with your own face on the either side when you get off the bus, the road was bumpy, means with up and down situation were there. Your own face on the either side when you get off of the bus, do not step inside the old man's head. The poet expresses unhappiness that the condition of the bus was so poor that the all the passengers suffered throughout that journey. The poem The bus opens with the poet's description of the bus, which is on its way up to Jajuri. The poem was written in 1976 when the windows of the state transport bus are covered with tarpaulin flash instead of glass. And the bus keeps moving forward. The cold wind blows heavily on the tarpaulin and tries to move it. Its constant attempt is described by weeping and sleeping, especially the human attitude of anger and displeasure. The wind blowing on the tarpaulin at your elbow presents the speakers as an observer than the subject. And the use of the verbs like slapping and weeping is used to give life to the wind, and so it is the personification of the wind. As the journey moves forward, the poet talks about the natural curiosity of a traveler to look outside. The tarpaulin is not see-through, tied to the window, so everything the visitor could hear is the roaring road. The poet further states the visitor may vainly try to look for daybreak in the limited light slipping out from the bus, for they are traveling at night. Searching for the signs of daybreak indicates the restlessness of the fellow traveler for the journey to end sooner or the eagerness to win Jejuri. However, hard the traveler may try, all the scenes he gets to see is of the divided self of himself, the pair of glasses on an old man's nose. The divided face is of a restrictive in nature, for the person has to deal with his own divided self. In this context, the divided self depicts the poet's religious beliefs and modern skepticism. The poem, The Bus, is about the traveler who know that he is moving forward toward the destination to the ruins of Jajuri. As he was observing the divided face on the old man's spectacles, he looks further at caste mark, which depicts the religious belief. That symbolic representation of the caste mark indicates the difference between the old man's religious faith and of the younger traveler. By then, he notices the sun's rays seeping through the eyelet in the tarpaulin and reflecting the old man's glasses. The verb suits and aim used in their lines personify the sun. The bus gives the picture of the daybreak and its view inside the bus. Outside the bus, the sun has risen and the bus changes direction. A soft sunbeam falls on the right temple of the driver. These soft sunbeams indicate the sharpness of the sun rays and serve as strong visual imagery. Since the poet is also an artist, bringing art into the writing is never an issue of the poet. This is personified the poet as if the sunbeam coming to rest gently on the temple of the driver like a human being. Finally, they have reached their destination at the end of the bumpy road. The on face on the either side indicates the hard path on one has to take to reach to the Jajuri. The single last line of the poem, The Bus, indicates the poet's attitude toward going to journey. The old man's head represents his belief. The poet does not want to have a conversation with the old or the young generation of his time is different to the religious belief. He also instructs the traveler not to step inside the old man's head. The old man used to symbolize the old generation, and the traveler symbolizes the young generation in modern society. While the former visit the religious monuments like Jajuri with devotion, the latter goes on not so with such belief or such devotion. Thanks.